As you make your way inside the museum, you're going to see our college display. This is where we have a list of all the NCAA men's and women's indoor champions listed along with their jersey. Look to your left and you'll see our rotating Olympic display featuring photos, results, and information from the most recent Olympic Games. As you ascend the steps through the entryway, you immediately notice the flags draped across the foyer representing the 14 founding federations of the FIVB. Your eye is then drawn to the 4-foot fiberglass volleyball in the middle of the foyer. There are 20 of these fiberglass volleyballs spread throughout Holyoke, all uniquely decorated by area artists. Holyoke takes great pride in being the birthplace of volleyball, painting volleyballs on the street during induction weekend, having special Birthplace of Volleyball signs at each gateway to the city, showcasing volleyball on their police cruisers and patches, and even noting the Birthplace of Volleyball on the official city letterhead. Just to the right of the volleyball is a small exhibit honoring the late Kirk Kilgore of the UCLA and recognizing Tom Selleck and Wilt Chamberlain's contributions to the game. To the left of the main door is our Celebrating Humanity Through Sport collaborative exhibit with the New York City Fire Department volleyball team. The FDNY volleyball team tragically lost 2 members in the attacks of 9/11, and their jerseys are memorialized here in the Hall of Fame along with their story and memorabilia from the World Police and Fire Games. The FDNY volleyball team participates each year in our Battle of the Badges First Responder Tournament. That's an international tournament hosted here in Holyoke featuring fire, police, military, and first responders, players from New York, Canada, and throughout New England, along with local area fire and police departments. The Hall of Fame also hosts a Night of Heroes reception prior to the tournaments that welcomes all the players and their families to Holyoke and celebrates their sacrifices. As you enter the Great Hall, you can see our replica half court. And to the left, you can see our current inductee display cases. Panning back around, you'll see our Wall of Honor and our Invention of the Game exhibit. The front wall to the left is home to our special IVHF awards. That's our Court of Honor, the William Morgan Award, Mintonette Award, and our President's Award. Massachusetts is fortunate to have a strong Girls Volleyball Coaches Association, and they are a partner of the Hall of Fame. They're very active in our Hall of Fame programming, and our museum is home to the MGVCA Hall of Fame plaque listing all of their recipients. Each year, special exhibits are unveiled during induction weekend featuring the new class of inductees, and these exhibits stay on display for the following year until the next class is honored. The Hall of Fame offers private museum rentals, and here you can see that it's still set up from a local high school volleyball team's end-of-season banquet. The museum really offers a unique setting for events. We host luncheons, sales meetings, Chamber of Commerce receptions, birthday parties, business meetings, and more every year. Behind the podium is our Wall of Honor featuring all 146 of our current inductees. This is a temporary placement for these plaques. As part of our renovation, new plaques are being created, so we'll be holding an auction in 2021 for these one-of-a-kind memorabilia pieces, because really what collector wouldn't want an official induction plaque from their favorite player or coach. The Invention of the Sport exhibit area features a replica of the Holyoke YMCA where volleyball was invented in December of 1895, along with videos, information, and memorabilia from those early years of the sport. The Holyoke YMCA actually used to stand about 2 blocks from where the Hall of Fame Museum is now, but was lost to a fire in the 1940s. So though the building was a total loss, they were able to salvage the steel locker that belonged to William Morgan, and that is on display here. The story of the sport's invention is described in text and photos along with several artifacts, including a handwritten letter from William Morgan recounting how volleyball, originally named Mintonette, received its new name at a July 1896 conference of physical directors at the YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts. Along with that is also Morgan's copy of the original rules. The timeline of exhibits leads you to the early 1900s and the YMCA's role in expanding the game throughout the United States and the world. Artifacts on display include the trophy from the first U.S. National Volleyball Championship held in 1922, which took place at the Brooklyn Central YMCA. Along with that, we also have the trophy from the third championship in 1924. The 1920s to 40s are chronicled in the Nationalization Exhibit area, which saw the formation of several governing bodies, including USA Volleyball. Team picture and trophy from the US Open Championships of that time is on display. The US Armed Forces were instrumental in spreading volleyball throughout the world during World War I and World War II. The Volleyball in the Military exhibit shares photos, stories, and information about that spread. 1947 saw the creation of the FIVB, the world's governing body of volleyball. Included in the display are photos from the first meeting along with a program signed by representatives of all 14 founding national federations. There is one true mark of a sport's worldwide acceptance, the Olympics, and no one knew that better than Dr. Harold T. Fryermuth. Fryermuth was a national director of physical education for the YMCA and a one-man champion for the sport of volleyball. The hall is home to the Fryermuth collection, and several important items are on display year-round, including the original USAV Fryer Award, Fryermuth's Olympic Order, and his 1986 Volleyball Hall of Fame Induction Award. There are several Olympic items on display throughout the museum, including a special 50-year anniversary exhibit featuring artifacts from that 1964 games. Those were the first games to feature volleyball. There's a signed volleyball from the U.S. men's Olympic team after their gold medal win in 1984, and a display showing the Olympic game ball throughout the years, starting with that original ball from 1964, then showing 1984, and finally the current ball. On display at the replica court is the net system and referee stand from the 1996 Atlanta Games. The timeline takes you to the 1970s, the official sanctioning of NCAA men's volleyball, and information panel displays the history of collegiate volleyball in photos and text. Just outside the timeline hallway is a special exhibit dedicated to Flo Hyman and her contributions to the game. There's an entire room in the back of the museum dedicated just to beach volleyball. An info panel at the doorway describes the early days and the growth of the sport. An international beach exhibit features a signed ball by St. John Smith. There's a unique first place beach volleyball trophy won by inductees Shel Davide and Adriana Behar, along with their uniforms and some of their FIVB Tour gold medals. The exhibit also features a Kerry Walsh autographed ticket from the 2008 Beijing Olympics. You'll find photographs and posters of early beach players, including this Ron Von Hagen poster. There's a special exhibit honoring the AVCA and the first Collegiate Sand Volleyball National Championship, the precursor to the current NCAA Sand Championships. The exhibit shows a signed participant game ball, photos, and results from the event. And of course, we did not forget Karch Kiraly. Karch is a 2001 inductee to the Hall of Fame and has several artifacts on display in the museum, including a signed poster from the 1980 Manhattan Beach Open, his FIVB Player of the Century Award, his iconic pink hat, and a signed ball. Just outside the beach room is the beginning of our paravolley display. We know that there are many different forms of volleyball, and we think that it's important to share the entire story of our sport, and so we're beginning to expand our exhibits to do just that. Our future museum and online exhibits are going to include paravolley, 9-man, and snow volleyball, to name a few. I also wanted to give you a quick look behind the scenes where we just received 12 boxes of memorabilia from a donor that we're beginning to process and archive, and some of these items might be part of an exhibit in the near future. Through everything that's been happening in the world, the Hall of Fame remains committed to our efforts of sharing the story of volleyball at all levels of the game. However, now more than ever, we need the help and support of volleyball fans worldwide to accomplish this. Our museum is operating on reduced hours, and our large public events so vital to our fundraising have been canceled. Your support now will have a direct impact on our ability to serve the 3 pillars of our mission: to honor the sport's greatest, preserve volleyball's rich history, and promote the sport for future generations. Please make an immediate and significant impact with a gift of any size today so that we can continue to tell the stories of our sport through our museum exhibits, collections, and our new digital exhibits. With your help, we can continue to celebrate the legendary careers of our sport's greatest champions. Thank you.